What's up everyone? So the .svelte file in the previous video I talked about the .svelte file in one or two sentences I think. So in this video let's understand a bit more about this file type. A .svelte file is a custom file format where we write our code using a superset of HTML to describe the portion of UI. For example, in our Hello World project we have one .svelte file namely app.svelte which is responsible for the heading and the paragraph in the UI. So the .svelte file is responsible for the portion of the UI. Next, let's understand the code that goes inside the .svelte file. Each .svelte file consists of three sections: script, markup, and style. The script section is where the data and the logic for the markup is maintained. You could say it is like the JavaScript of your UI. The markup section is the HTML of your UI. It defines the structure. The last section is the style section where you specify the style related to the HTML written in the markup section. The script section goes within the script tag, the style section goes within the style tag, and everything else is part of the markup section. As you can see, HTML, CSS and the JavaScript, that is all you need to define a fully functional and styled portion of the user interface. So in Svelte, instead of dividing the code base into three huge layers which then come together to form a UI, it is instead divided into one or more Svelte files where each file is responsible for their own markup, styles and logic. And what you do have to keep in your mind is that the browser does not understand what a .svelte file is. So Rollup with the Svelte plugin is going to parse this file, extract each of three sections and assemble them back into a format that browser can understand. Since we are using the Svelte template repo, all of this is already taken care for us. Alright, now that we have a bit more information about this .svelte file, let's discuss two more points which will set us up to finally get started with some code in the next video. The first point is about components. Right now we have Svelte file called app.svelte. In Svelte, a .svelte file represents a component. A Svelte app can contain one or more of these components. When learning Svelte as a beginner, though, there is a lot to learn with just one Svelte file. We don't have to worry about multiple Svelte files and the component architecture to begin with. So to keep this simple, you are first going to focus on all the concepts that can be learned using just one .svelte file. When we have a good understanding on how the script, markup and style sections work together, we will then dive deep into the world of components in Svelte. I assure you we will come back to this topic of components later on in this series when it will make much more sense. Right now, all we just need is one app.svelte file to understand the whole bunch of concepts that Svelte has to offer. The second point is about what we are going to learn pretty much in some of the upcoming videos. A minute ago, I mentioned that a Svelte file contains a markup, as well as the script which contains the logic for that markup. Let me tell you that a major portion of working with a .svelte file is writing up the data and logic to the marker. That is connecting the data present in the script section to the HTML present in the markup section. This is the declarative programming approach I was mentioning in the very first video. All you have to do is let Svelte know how you want to bind your data to the HTML and Svelte will take care of the rest. And it is this part of letting Svelte know of what exactly we want the UI to look like. So let's finally get started with some code in the next video, but before that, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, then do hit the subscribe button and leave a like if you find this video informative.